And on that note, how's it going, Nicolai?
What? We just started the Brothers Game podcast with your hosts, me, Nicolai.
And me, Brian.
And me, Brian.
No, Brian's me, not you.
What if I'm also Brian?
You're not,
What if we switched names and it was me the whole time? Hang on. I didn't start a timer. Oh, God. Okay. Hey, welcome, everybody.
Hey.
And welcome, Brian.
Yes.
How's Brian?
Well, it's been a busy month, actually.
It has. We've actually been doing some game-related things.
Mm-hmm.
What's that like?
We've each had a birthday.
We did both have a birthday. Yours was on April 7th, and mine was, as of recording this, yesterday, because it was yesterday the 11th for me.
Yeah. Although I guess mine was right before our last episode. But,
I think so. We just didn't mention it. But,
yeah.
Did we mention it? We probably did mention it.
We may have.
I don't remember.
Neither of us remembers anything we say on this podcast.
No. Never. So let us know what we said, last episode.
I made an attempt. So I was curious to. I was looking back through previous episodes, and I wanted to use YouTube's auto caption feature to just like read the text of the episode.
Yeah.
And it does a decent job, but there were a lot of problems. So I was like, I'm gonna try just transcribing.
That's the word.
The episode.
Nice. Yeah.
And I spent
that's quite a job.
Probably an hour doing just the first 15 minutes of an episode, and realized this is
maybe don't do that.
If this ever happens, it's going to take a very long time.
Yeah.
So I don't get your hopes up about accurate transcriptions of each episode.
Accurate captions. Maybe
existing
one day.
Anytime soon.
Maybe when we're able to put more time and effort into this podcast.
Yeah.
If it ever gets more than 10 viewers. Mm-hmm. So if you're number 11, hey, thanks. Thanks for coming out. Thanks for coming out. Really, really happy to have you. That's cool though.
Yeah. So we have a lot to talk about.
Yeah. Where do you want to start?
Well, where we left off.
Yeah. If you remember, I gave you a really cool team of Pokemon to play.
A wonderful, unique team.
Wonderful, terrible team.
Yeah.
In my opinion. Let's read that off just so the audience remembers.
Yeah.
So that you remember.
Because I totally remember and don't need reminding. This is purely for the benefit of the audience.
The audience, not for Brian. So just keep that in mind. So Brian, you had a Beedrill.
Yes.
We remember that. Thanks, Eric Hansen. We have a Persian, cool kitty cat. We had a Farfetch'd duck with a leak, very cool. Sea King, oil paintings. Onyx, very cool, terrible Pokemon. And Ditto, which is not a Pokemon you have on your main team,
right?
Typically. That is not one of the go-tos, I feel like.
So I will say, in general, each of these Pokemon really sucked when I first got them.
Yeah, I bet.
Each of them took a while to really get into their stride. Now
they were probably pretty underleveled too.
Yeah. One thing about Gen 1 that neither of us
did not account for this at all
is I remember even from back when I was a kid playing this game, that poison was strong against bug and that bug was strong against poison. What I didn't realize is that is exclusive to Gen 1
only. Yeah.
Gen 2 onward,
I completely forgot about
exist. But because of that, it means Beedrill is stronger in Gen 1 than most other gens.
I mean, later maybe he gets better bug and poison moves.
Yeah, it kind of balances out.
Still.
But he actually wound up being very effective against both poison types. And so I always knew that bug was strong against psychic, but I dismissed it because bug types were so weak and psychic types were so strong. And so it didn't really matter that they had a type advantage because of how much stronger psychic types were.
Yeah.
But once the levels are close enough and you have a Beedrill with Twin Needle that's had plenty of EVs, he can hit pretty hard. So I actually used him against Sabrina. I used him against Lorelai's Jinx and a few other fights like that.
I must say that this all comes as quite a disappointment to me.
Yes. So I kind of wonder if this would have been harder in a LeafGreen playthrough.
I bet it would.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, I didn't expect much from Onyx.
Yeah.
But
Naturally.
surprisingly, once he knew dig and rock throw, he was pretty effective.
Yeah. I mean, at least defensively, he's very good. So
dig has 100 power, so it's ridiculously strong.
Yeah.
So between that and rock throw, which
is okay.
Yeah, in some fights was actually useful.
It's bad accuracy, right? I don't remember exactly.
Yeah, it does.
It's like 85 or something.
Yeah,
75
rock type moves have a lot going against them.
Yeah, they usually have low accuracy or something.
Low accuracy.
Yeah, I just don't use them often.
Not especially high power, and then the Pokemon that use them tend to not have great attack stats
weird.
Anyway.
Great defensively, typically. But, yeah. Well, hey, that's cool. That worked out.
Yeah.
Again, I think I mentioned this last time. I don't know why. I think it might be a childhood thing, but I associate Onyx with you. I have no idea why.
I'm curious. I want to sometime go down the rabbit hole of what would be my team if you just picked it based on which Pokemon you think
what fit you.
Me.
Yeah, that'd actually be fun.
I might do the same for you.
Yeah, we should do that sometime.
Yeah,
because I have that team. I have what in my mind would be my perfect team.
Yeah,
including all generations. And if I was like a real life Pokemon trainer, this would be my team type of thing.
But that's the thing is the Pokemon that I like aren't necessarily the types that people would go, yeah, but you really
would associate.
I really see you as a person who would use this Pokemon.
Yeah.
So yeah,
and it's always weird because my favorite type's water. Love water types.
Mm-hmm.
Second favorite type's probably ghost. I really like ghost types. But my favorite Pokemon is a fire type. So it's I mean, who knows?
My favorite Pokemon are types are water and psychic.
Yeah, and I know you're a psychic guy for sure.
I really liked Steel when it came out, but
Steel's awesome.
I haven't loved most of the Steel type Pokemon except Dialga.
Dialga's very cool.
He's my favorite.
Cool.
He's one of my favorite of the newer legendaries, from
Gen 4 onward.
After Gen 3. Yeah, Gen 4 onward.
Yeah. No, he's really cool.
So. Nice. Ditto was absolute garbage at first.
Trash.
Eventually, he was okay, but it took a while. Because, when you... I had forgotten really how Transform worked because it had been so long since I'd actually used a Ditto in battle.
Yeah.
When you transform, you change into that Pokemon... you gain that Pokemon's types. I think you retain Ditto's stats.
Yeah, I think so.
So you gain that Pokemon's appearance and types, and then their moves, but you only get 5 power points for each move.
Yes, that's right.
So even if it's a move that normally has 40 power points, you get 5.
Tackle, you get 5.
Yeah.
Tail Whip, you get 5. Yeah.
So that was tough.
Yikes.
I really thought Persian was probably going to be MVP because he's actually a decent Pokemon stat-wise, and he can learn a nice variety of moves.
Yeah.
Up until I got that Goldeen, he was my water type. Yeah. I taught him Bubble Beam.
Oh, he knows Bubble Beam.
Yep.
That's cool. Can't he know Flamethrower too or something?
Probably.
I think there's a bunch
I taught
of
him
moves.
Thunderbolt also because I wasn't going to get an electric type,
great.
so there was no need to keep it.
You
for
can have quite
else.
an elemental cat, it turns out.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I thought that was true. Yeah, that he learns quite a bit of moves.
So, just like most playthroughs, this was a pretty easy playthrough up until the Elite Four. None of the gym leaders or anything were particularly hard. In fact, Misty was super easy because Beedrill destroyed her Starmie.
Nice. That's cool. Oh, right, because it's psychic.
Yep.
And were you resistant to water?
No.
No? Okay. That's grass. That's right.
I was just grass. Bulky enough to not get one shot, basically.
What level were you? Do you remember your Beedrill?
Probably around 20.
20-ish, yeah. I usually go into Misty at 21, 22. But, yeah.
I think, so normally I'll fight the 2... trainers in her gym, and then I'll fight Gary. I'll go up Nugget Bridge and fight everybody up to Bill, do Bill's thing, then come back down. Then I'll even fight the rocket guy who gives you dig, and then I'll fight Misty.
Wow.
I'll do everything else in
Everything, and then
Cerulean
it's
and then
Misty.
fight
Yeah.
Misty. I've even gone
Sounds
down
about right.
to like Route 5
Wow, really?
to on my way to Vermilion before
Yeah.
fighting her, just to get a few
Jeez.
more levels, because she is by far the hardest fight
Quite possibly the hardest gym
before
leader.
the Elite Four,
Yeah.
in my own opinion.
It's very interesting.
So then I get to the Elite Four. Now, this wasn't a Nuzlocke playthrough, thank God, because
Because you would have been
I would
screwed.
probably be on attempt 9 or something
Yeah.
right now and still not be done.
I would have guessed the Elite Four was pretty tough with this
So
team.
the way I handle the Elite Four if I'm under-leveled for it is I don't go back into Victory Road and grind. I grind
Which is the normal thing to do
against
but
the Elite Four. I
Yeah.
just
Oh,
lose
that-
to
that
them
works too, yeah.
over and over, because it seems I seem to level
It's
way
quite
faster
possibly
doing
faster,
it that way.
actually. Yeah,
it seems way more efficient.
Yeah.
It does cost a lot more money, but because you pay out money every time you black out.
That's true.
But
We do gain money for beating them too.
Yeah,
so.
you also gain a lot of money throughout the game.
Well,
so.
yeah.
Although
So if you're not buying a Porygon, you should be fine.
if you're not cheating, it's not
can run out
like
of
in
money.
later gens. You don't just have oodles and oodles of cash.
You can really run out of
you
money.
can run out of money pretty quick,
yeah.
especially if you buy a bunch of full restores and
yeah.
stuff at the.
Yeah, and if you do anything in the game corner, if you're going for the Porygon
Yeah,
or something,
that too, obviously.
Yeah, you're really hurting for money.
I remember as a kid sitting on our staircase at the house.
worst. I
Just
remember this, yeah.
buying coins to buy Porygon.
Yep.
I
Because you can only buy so many at a
because
time.
you can only
and
buy like
stuff.
5 or 50 at a time or something, and you need like
Horrible.
even in blue version, where he's cheaper, it's still like over 5,000.
Yeah, it's
or
like
something.
7,500 or
It's
something.
ridiculous.
Yeah. I did not that long ago, just a couple years ago. I was playing Yellow on an actual cartridge, and I grinded through buying coins and actually doing the slots. Grinded money so that I could get the 9,000 coin Porygon. But it took a really long, off and on playing for a week at least.
I wonder which
Ridiculous.
would be faster on average, just buying the coins or playing the machines. Like, I wonder what the
It
odds
depends. The machines are really weird in Gen 1. There's like a pattern you get into, I feel like, where you just win over and over again.
Yeah.
Like, I found this rhythm where if I just continued to do that same rhythm, I would just win every time. But if you lose that rhythm, then it's scary and you're on your own.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it was really very interesting to try to do.
So, Lorelei was the hardest of the Elite Four, oddly enough, the first one, and it was because of Lapras. Lapras is
Big girl.
such a tank.
She's a tank.
Yeah.
Hard to kill. Yeah.
So what would
I
happen
love
is
Lapras. One of my favorite Gen 1.
I would lead with Persian because he knew Thunderbolt, and I would use
Obviously, yeah.
Persian against most of her team, and then Beedrill against her Jinx, and then Lapras would come out, and Lapras would wipe everyone in my team except Seeking, because Seeking's resistant to
resistant.
water and ice, and so Seeking just lived long enough to outlast Lapras.
Would you usually hit with like Horn Attack or something?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. Dang.
And
Rough.
Then I would get to Bruno, and Bruno is so much weaker than the other three.
Oh, yeah, Bruno's always easy.
He's such a pushover. So obviously Seeking, actually Seeking was very good against his whole team because it knows Peck, which is strong against the fighting types.
Yeah.
And then water moves against his two Onyxes. And then I think I got to Lance on my first try,
Wow, nice.
but then lost immediately. And
Oh,
then,
really? Does Seeking know any ice moves?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
But I think his Gyarados took me out the first time.
Yeah.
But and then Agatha killed me a couple of times. But what I started doing against Agatha is I would use Ditto, transform into Gengar, and then use Hypnosis and Dream Eater against her team because it's weak to psychic moves, and Dream Eater is psychic.
Super effective. Yep.
And I loved it because
Great.
I've always loved that combination of moves, but I almost never use it because
Hypnosis
of how
Dream Eater is awesome.
because it takes 2 turns and Hypnosis doesn't have a super high accuracy rating.
Yeah. But when it works, it's awesome.
But yeah, it's
Because
very
Dream
satisfying.
Eater is 100%, 100 power.
Yeah, very strong move.
And it heals you. I mean, it's ridiculously
so
good.
I'd transform into her either her first Gengar or her Haunter. Interesting note: her second Gengar does not know Dream Eater.
Oh,
So you need to transform into either the
it has
first
to be the
Gengar,
first Gengar,
or her Haunter.
and obviously Gengar's preferred. But I guess it doesn't really.
I don't think it matters because I think you
Dittos.
keep the same
Yeah.
stats. So
yeah, I guess it doesn't matter.
And then obviously against Lance, I do what I've always done since the very beginning, since the first time I played the game, and that is just spam Blizzard.
Yeah, Blizzard.
Yeah. I actually usually I save up all of my PP ups and give them all to Blizzard so that I actually can do more than 5.
So wait, doesn't Blizzard have better accuracy in Gen 1?
Yes.
It's like 90.
I think it's 90% in Gen 1, yeah.
It goes down later.
So it's
Blizzard's very good then, yeah.
And so like
Nice.
if my Persian lived up until Lance, I would use Persian against
Obviously Thunderbolt
Gyarados with Thunderbolt,
a single bit of static electricity will kill a Gyarados.
Yes.
Instantly.
And then you just use Blizzard against the rest of his team because they're all weak.
Yeah, obviously, absolutely.
And both Aerodactyl and Dragonite are four times weak. So
yeah,
that's
what you want.
And then I would get to Gary. I know his name's not actually Gary in Gen 1, but because of the anime, I always call him Gary, the rival. But
I mean, it's blue or red depending on which version you're playing. So,
and I think in the manga he's blue.
Yeah, he's blue in the manga, and actually in the in Let's Go, he's officially named Blue.
Right.
I believe. Yeah. So.
And so his Alakazam is usually the biggest problem anyway, and was especially hard in this one.
Beedrill didn't one shot it.
Well, Beedrill didn't live long enough to get to that fight very often.
Oh, okay. And you didn't have any revives or anything.
Well, I burned through most of my cash, so I didn't have a lot of revives.
Yeah.
So, I was smart and didn't buy a ton for the first few rounds because I knew I was going to just die really quick, and so I just preferred to like beat Lorelei and Bruno a few times to level up before I decided to this is a serious attempt and I'm going to actually buy revives and stuff. I forget how I actually beat Alakazam, but it was I think maybe Farfetch'd did it.
Yeah.
He's so fast that you need a Pokemon that for one can survive a single psychic attack from him, which is actually a tall order anyway.
Yeah.
And then also or you need to be faster than him, which is also a tall order.
Also rare, yep.
And then you just
Voltorb self-destruct.
Yeah. And then you just need enough physical attack power. Actually, an Electrode with
Electrode,
self-destruct or explosion would
not bad.
Actually be a really good option against that.
Yeah.
As long as you're not doing Nuzlocke.
Well, yeah, obviously, yes.
But yeah. I did.
But you did beat him eventually, yes.
And
congrats.
And
do you know roughly what levels you were at when you finally beat it?
Oh, they were in the 50s somewhere.
50s?
I'm not sure any of them made it to 60.
Cool. Not bad for 50s then.
Mm-hmm. And in the end, all of them really pulled their weight fairly well.
Yeah.
They were all pretty decent fighters by the end.
Yeah. So would you say the biggest surprise was Beedrill, though?
Yeah, that was Onyx was a big surprise too. I kind of thought he was just going to be only useful as a tank and nothing else, but he turned out to hit pretty hard once you gave him the right moves.
So who was the most useless then?
I think it was actually Farfetch'd.
Probably Farfetch'd.
I think he's just so frail.
Mm-hmm.
So
no, that makes sense.
Even though he can hit kind of hard, it often didn't matter.
Yeah. Nope, that makes sense. I would have probably assumed that. I would have assumed him or Onyx probably.
Yeah.
For the most useless. So.
Ditto took the longest to become useful, but he eventually did.
Nice.
And as I predicted, Pokemon that are weak to their own moves are who he's best
Very
against.
Useful,
so
obviously.
Like Gengar with Dream Eater.
Yeah. Yep. That works. And I mean, if Dragon moves existed in Gen 1, that would have been useful against Lance, possibly.
If it wasn't just Dragon Rage with its set 40 damage.
So stupid. Interesting. Okay. Who now, what would be worse? What would be a worse team, do you think? A fully evolved Pokemon? Like,
Yeah, that's an
What
interesting
are
question.
some you could swap in that would be even worse? You know, like Pokemon like Pinsir and stuff like that.
Yeah, so Pinsir and Scyther, neither of them learn any bug type moves, so they're essentially normal type Pokemon.
Right. And not very
but their
strong
attack
ones.
strength, their attack stats are both pretty high.
Yeah.
So
Isn't Scyther worse?
I think a little bit.
Yeah, if I remember correctly. Even though he's way cooler.
Yeah. So they'd be okay. They'd just be I would treat most normal type Pokemon the same, and then it would just be a matter of their stats. I think maybe Parasect would be worse than Beedrill.
Oh, interesting.
Because he
I actually
doesn't
prefer Parasect.
Well, he learns even worse bug type moves. I think the only good one he learns is Leech Life.
Yeah, which is extremely weak.
And you can teach him Mega Drain, which I did teach Beedrill Mega Drain.
Like, I think Parasect would be a good grass type Pokemon.
Yeah, he'd be okay as a grass type.
Yep.
I have historically used Tangela because there was a little while as a kid where I was like,
grass type.
Single types are the only good types and dual types all suck.
Yeah.
And my logic behind that was the added weaknesses overcome the added strengths of dual type Pokemon. I don't completely stand by that anymore. But in Gen 1, it's kind of true in a lot of cases.
I'm sure more true in Gen 1.
So I had a team of all single types, and the only and this was back when I thought grass types were actually good. And then I later had a phase where I thought grass types all suck. But so I had a Tangela for a while. And he's really freaking weak.
Yeah.
He's one of the worst grass type Pokemon.
Yeah.
But it's just because his special stat is really low. And a grass type with a low special stat is kind of useless, at least in my opinion. So, yeah. Tangela or Parasect would kind of suck.
Yeah.
Zubat sucks. Golbat's
okay.
Not terrible, but not great.
Yeah.
Crobat is great, but he's not in Gen 1.
Fantastic. Lickitung?
Lickitung isn't very good, so that would be awful. Same with Chansey, because even though Chansey has a ton of health, it has such low physical defense.
I mean, it just does nothing. Yeah. It can't really.
And not offensively strong, so
it's mostly just those, right? It's those Pokemon that are usually normal type that don't evolve, and they just don't do much.
Yeah.
They seem kind of pointless.
Muck and Weezing, both pretty bad, especially in Gen 1. In later gens with like...
Weezing's pretty good later.
Yeah.
I like Weezing later.
It's not like toxic... It's not Toxic Orb, but it's something like that.
Like a held item?
No, it's like the poison equivalent of Shadow Ball, but I forget what the name is of the move.
Well, there's a couple. There's Sludge Wave,
Sludge
and there's Sludge Bomb.
I think that's
those
what
are
I'm
two
thinking
different
of
moves.
is Sludge Bomb.
Those are both great moves.
Yeah.
So,
but like in Gen 1, it's like there's Acid, and Smog, and a couple of moves like that, which are just not very good moves.
Exactly.
And they don't get type advantage for any other types because they're both pure poison. So, those would both be really sucky Pokemon to have. Arbok isn't much better, but at least he gets Bite.
Yeah, that's true.
So, poison types
even
suck.
better later because it's dark. But I mean, poison types just kind of suck in Gen 1 in general.
Yeah, bug types aren't great either, but they're at least better than poison types. Because Beedrill, obviously pretty decent with Twin Needle. It'll actually hit fairly hard against poison types, grass types, or psychic types. And then Butterfree obviously learns psychic type moves, so that makes Butterfree S tier bug type.
Butterfree is the best bug type in Gen 1, period. Yeah, absolutely. It has good, powder moves too.
Yeah,
it's like psychic, sleep powder, and poison powder. Like, dang, great Pokemon. Yeah, for sure. So basically, it's bug, poison, and normal types would just pretty much be awful. Yeah. Yep, that's about what I thought. So there you go.
I think it'd be really interesting if you could start with a Pinsir. Start the game with a Pinsir and have him have some bug type moves that are between 20 and 40 power and just try to play the game with him. because you would have type advantage against all the poison types in the game, which there are many. And then all the psychic types in the game and all the grass types in the game, you'd have type advantage against.
Right.
So you'd
be good.
Yeah.
Be quite good. Yeah.
I think you could easily solo the game with him.
With just a pincer with good move, with good bug moves.
Yeah, just a pincer with good bug moves and an NHM slave.
Yeah.
You could easily beat Gen 1.
I think it's possible that's why they made bug moves so weak.
Yeah,
because they're strong
it's kind of
against
like
everyone.
And like trying to think of like Japanese Nintendo executives and how they thought about game theory. I can imagine them thinking, okay, so Psychic is this really strong move, but we want this kind of underdog type who is strong against the strongest type.
Yeah, right.
And so they come up with the bug type and give it type advantage against Psychic.
Yeah.
And at first, that's like how it's going to work. But then they're like, oh, but we can't make bug too strong. And then they like overcompensated or undercompensated. And then it made bug really weak.
Yeah.
And like, yes, a bug type that is a high enough level with enough EVs and stuff will be strong. But that's true of any Pokemon.
Yeah, exactly.
The worst Pokemon in the game with enough training, enough EVs, enough levels will
be
beat
decent.
just about anything.
Yeah, strong. Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go.
Well, there you go.
Very cool.
Yeah.
That's a fun time. Yeah, we'll have to. I guess we can keep the Pokemon train rolling because we don't talk about Pokemon enough in this pod. If there's one thing we never talk about, it's Pokemon.
Right.
So I've been playing Pokemon too, but in a very different way.
Right.
I've always been interested in, like I feel like streaming in Pokemon has been, it's all been Nuzlocke and randomizers basically, just because it's something different, which is I guess what people want to see. You can only play through, Red and Blue so many times.
Really?
On stream.
I don't know what that's like.
Especially on stream. People have seen that before. And I've also seen Zelda randomizers and stuff. Anyway, I've always been really interested in that. And I found basically the program that people use a lot. It's a really good program that's very quick, very user-friendly. And so I wanted to do a LeafGreen randomizer because I chose LeafGreen because I know it really well. I know Gen 1. I know the Kanto region really well. And because then there's 3 generations of Pokemon to be randomized instead of just Gen 1, So I just thought that'd be more fun. So I was able to get that going on my phone, actually, because my Android has a really good GBA emulator.
Yep.
And so I was like, all right, I'm going to play through LeafGreen, totally randomized. I randomized the starters, all wild Pokemon. I randomized all trainer Pokemon. I upgraded their moves to like Gen 6 moves, I think. Something like that. So move sets and stats, I think, are updated. So Pokemon are just better in general, which is really cool. It is 3rd generation still, so there's not the split in moves from physical to special, but
okay.
I don't know if it can do that.
You know what I really want to do now?
Yeah.
Pokemon Diamond randomized.
Yeah, right?
Because I feel like the wild Pokemon and stuff kind of suck in Diamond.
Yeah.
And this would totally fix that. I mean, it could make it worse in a lot of cases, but it'd be really interesting.
Yeah.
So
I think a Diamond and Pearl
I really want to do that.
Would be very fun. So yeah, I would consider doing that as well. We would love to stream these someday, just so you guys know.
Yes.
Eventually, we will get into that. Obviously, that costs money for setup and stuff.
We need equipment.
But we do really want to do that. So, keep your eye out on that. So, yeah, I did basically just that stuff. Basically, just the Pokemon was randomized. And, yeah, so I remember so I was like, starters, okay, it could be literally any Pokemon, like legendaries, whatever, from the 3 generations, including like it doesn't have to be just first evolutions, like it could be middle or 3rd evolutions. So I was like, It's like, all right, it's like gambling almost. It's like, what am I gonna get? So the three starters.
What are my polls gonna look like?
Yeah, what are my polls gonna? Oh, I'll talk about Pokemon cards later. We'll get into that. That's a whole thing. The first one was Jigglypuff, which is very boring. I'm like, great, a Jigglypuff, and then very similarly, a Skitty was my next one, but then the third, Sceptile.
Right.
Sceptile of all things. So evolution of Trico from Gen 3. I'm like, that's a lot more interesting than the other two, so I'm just going to go with that. I was like, I don't know if I'm going to use him that often, but I'm just going to go with it. So I went with that. And so Gary, my rival, who I named, what did I name him? Stinko. I think I named him Stinko. Very.
Hey, Stinko, man.
What is this? Stinko. Yeah, so he chose Skitty. And I destroyed him, of course, with a Sceptile.
Shocking.
Weird, I know. Crazy. I think he didn't know grass move though starting. I think he knew pound or something. Something like that. Anyway, so that was cool. And so I went to the Route 1. I was like, all right, what is my Rattata and Pidgey going to be? So the first one I encountered, I believe I think it was like a Cascoon or something, right? So like something Gen 3, definitely super lame. I was like, great, okay. And then the second Pokemon I encountered, either a Pidgey or Rattata, basically, but that was a Gyarados. Just a freaking wild level 3 Gyarados. I was like, that is awesome. I was basically like, okay, that's my starter. That I want. So I got him. He only knew Thrash was his only move. And I'm like, okay, that's an interesting one to start off with. Not a terrible move. Better than Tackle, I guess. So I was like, okay, that's going to be kind of tough to level him up because I don't think he learns water moves early.
Right.
That's the problem with Gyarados. So I was like, okay, I don't know what I'm going to do with that. But, big but. Another thing I randomized was held items.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So Pokemon sometimes just have held items. And I think either in this randomizer or just all the time, your starter has a held item. I think it might just be a berry usually or something.
Okay.
But anyway, all held items are randomized in this. And so I look at my held item of my Sceptile, my starter, and it is a TM. It is the TM for Water Pulse. I am not kidding.
Wow.
I'm like, the
stars aligned for you.
This luck, dude. I couldn't believe it. So still the star of my team, Gyarados with Water Pulse, obviously.
Duh.
Freaking amazing. Obviously, thankfully he could learn it. I was like, hopefully he can learn it. Just assuming. But anyway, yes, absolutely fantastic. Could not have gone better in the beginning there. So that was cool. I did do, so there's a couple different types of randomizing. You could do fully randomized, where every time you encounter a Pokemon, it's different. So it's just randomizing all the time, sort of, or something. Yeah. And that's crazy. I didn't go that far. I did it where it's set randomized. So like this route will always have Cascoon and Gyarados, basically.
Okay, yeah.
But go to this next grass patch that usually has different Pokemon. It'll have other random Pokemon.
That feels more true to Pokemon anyway.
I thought that was nice, So I get, Professor Oak's thing, get the Pokedex. Also, it gives you the national dex from the beginning.
Oh, nice.
So you can actually really use all these other Pokemon, which is really nice. So I went to the next route. I went to the, the one by the Indigo League where you fight Gary. And there's Nidorans and Mankeys usually and stuff like that. There was my first encounter was a Mankey.
Nice.
I was like, I thought this was randomized. That was really funny. I'm sure that happens, that it just happens to have the same Pokemon as it usually does. But that was funny. And then I ran into, what's that Pokemon? It's like Cacleon or something like that. Kecleon. He's like a chameleon dude.
Okay.
I think I'm sure you've seen it before. I think it's Gen 3.
Yeah.
Anyway, some chameleon Pokemon. I was like, hey, okay, cool. That's, again, very random. And then my third encounter was a Celebi.
Nice.
So
just wild Celebi.
I was waiting. I'm like, I wonder when the legendaries are going to start coming in. And there was a Celebi. So I'm like, okay, I mean, I guess I'll catch it. I don't want to like make the playthrough too easy. So I didn't want to go crazy with legendaries. But, you know, I'll take a Celebi. That's fine. I'll just have that there. That's great. So that was cool. I fight Gary. I think he had something really weird. I think he had like a Cascoon or something.
Oh, yeah.
Like just something really dumb like that. Anyway, his Skitty obviously was super easy again. That was cool. You know, played through that. I move up to the Route 2 right before Viridian. And you've got a Jinx, which comes up, which was interesting. I'm like, okay, Jinx, okay. And then I don't know. I don't remember what else. Doesn't really stand. Nothing else really stood out. The big pulls in Viridian. There was Miltanks, which were really good to grind on because they give pretty good XP. So that was pretty nice. I think I ran into a Kyogre one time.
Oh, nice.
But I think it was like the Pikachu of Viridian because I ran into one and then never again. And I didn't catch it, which I regretted a little bit.
Yeah.
Anyway, that was awesome. And it's always really funny to see a legendary. That was cool.
That makes me think of in Gen 2 when you release the legendary dogs and they just become like world randoms.
Yeah.
And then you just come across like a wild Entei when your lead Pokemon is like level 10.
Holy crap. Yeah. I think that was actually really cool. That was a good way to do legendaries, I think.
Yeah.
Anyway, I won't go through it all, but again, it was really cool. I was very jealous because one of the bug catchers in Viridian had a Shelgon as one of his Pokemon. I think he had a Pichu also. He had Pichu and Shelgon. And obviously I'm super jealous. Salamence is one of my favorite Pokemon.
Right.
In my main team. So hopefully I'll run into those pretty soon. There is sort of a cheat log that comes with it. It's and where everything is. It's like, this is every trainer in the game and what the Pokemon they're going to have. This is every route and what Pokemon are going to be there.
Oh, okay.
If you wanted to cheat or if you wanted to look up something in particular. So that's nice, you know, just sort of as a tool if you want it. I don't want to cheat too much because the surprise is really fun.
Right.
The other big thing was the funniest thing was in Mount Moon. I was like, what is the Zubat going to be? This is going to be awesome. It was Raikou.
Nice.
It was Raikou. So, again, great to grind on. Very cool. Yeah, that was awesome. The route right before that is so I'm sort of building a main team of just Pokemon that are fun that I like. Gyarados is obviously a big one. Right before Mount Moon, I found a Quilava.
Nice.
Which was really cool. I was like,
cool if you wound up with a starter team.
Just right.
Starters.
Yeah, might as well. I guess I could. Yeah, that was really cool. I was like, heck yeah, I want a Quilava. That's an awesome fire type. So that was fun. And then the Paris of Mount Moon. So like when you're in the in-between ladder spots, those little, hallways basically in between ladders in Mount Moon. There was Sableye, which was cool. I was like, I love Sableye. That's a really cool Pokemon. So I snagged one of those. So yeah, I'm in Cerulean right now. I haven't beaten Misty yet, but yeah, I'm sticking with those three mainly right now. But yeah, it's been been very fun. I'll definitely update next time probably when I've played through it a little more. Anyway, it's super fun. I would definitely highly recommend that. It's just such a different way to play,
Yeah,
and
I'm definitely gonna play around
the
with
surprise of it is very fun. But no, you're totally right. I think a Diamond and Pearl would be very fun, actually. because it's got the good split of moves, which is really nice, and then tons of Pokemon to choose from. If you have the full decks of all 4 gens, I mean, many Pokemon to choose from. Yeah, that'd be very fun. Get a Dialga early on. I'm really hoping for a Ho-Oh.
Yeah.
In this random, I would love to have a Ho-Oh.
That'd be cool.
We'll see. I do love Ho-Oh. Anyway, yeah, that's been my randomizer adventure so far.
Cool.
Very fun stuff.
Yeah, so I was pretty excited to do the Pokemon playthrough, so that was pretty much the first thing I did after we.
Yeah, you did that very immediately after we recorded,
last.
pretty much. So it was a few weeks ago now, but
yeah. Now, so after that, I've been thinking about all of the old games that I never beat, and
there's
like
always
which ones
some,
I'm want to actually put the time into beating, and one of those was Super Mario World.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
You played Super Mario World,
and so I was like, I'm gonna try and see how far I can get in Super Mario World because I had never really beaten it legitimately.
Yeah.
I more or less did once when I was a kid. Between me and Ray, we unlocked
our sister.
Star Road.
By the way, we have an older sister.
We unlocked Star Road, and I used that to skip straight to Bowser, and then I beat Bowser.
Right.
Now, I did beat Bowser. I didn't cheat or anything.
So you did beat it, technically.
And I got all the way to Chocolate Island at one point by myself.
It's not bad.
So that's pretty close to beating
Basically beat it.
but I hadn't quite actually
really gone through it.
And I think I just took like the path of least resistance to it. I didn't try to unlock everything.
Yeah.
So this time,
because you're not, as we've said, you're not really a platformer guy.
No,
yeah,
I'm
definitely not your
bad
thing.
at platformers.
Definitely not your thing.
Generally speaking. So so here's the thing about platformers.
Listen, let me level with you.
With me
about platformers.
Is just because I can make a jump once is now it's not a guarantee that I can ever make the jump again.
Recreate that situation.
And so what would happen to me a lot is I would get pretty far through a level and then die. And then be unable to get to even where I got in the level, let alone beat it.
Yeah, that's the worst.
So
and then that platformer frustration sets in.
Yeah. So I did wind up, as the game went on, using save states.
Oh, yeah.
At first, just to save time, not really to like cheat.
But to save your sanity.
It was just basically to avoid having to go and get lives every time I like. It was avoiding having to redo levels after a game over.
Yeah,
that sort of thing.
Lives are definitely an issue in old Mario games.
And so it was just to save me a lot of walking back to older levels to and stuff like that. So one of the first levels, I would just grab the red shell and hit this line of Koopas, and it would give you a 1-up.
Yeah,
and I would just do that, and then exit the level, and then go back in and do it again, just do that to get my lives up.
What a pain!
It was
fairly quick, actually.
Yeah, it was pretty much the most efficient method that I could find for myself.
Yeah.
And
there is an infinite lives area. I forget where it is in Mario World.
I did find the place where you can get like mushrooms, feathers, and Yoshi. The top secret area, I think it was called.
An amazing.
So between
those
two, that's where I would refresh. But I did get to the point where I was pretty heavily abusing save states at one point.
Dangerous.
But I mean, I never would have had the patience to beat the game if I hadn't done that. And I still did all the work.
Yeah,
I still made all the jumps. It's just that on some levels, I would make a jump and then I would save state, and then I would make the next jump and then I would save state. Literally.
Yeah.
That only happened on 2 levels, but they were so hard for me, and I was making so many attempts that I was like, okay, I need to just save myself some time and just save state as late as possible so that I can just revert until I make this jump. And I eventually did every time, given enough attempts.
That is how I beat Mario the Lost levels. Super Mario Bros. The Japanese Super Mario Bros. 2.
Right.
I did have to do that, so I do get it.
And I mean, like that's how people beat like Kaizo Mario and all those insanely
definitely
crazy ones. And so I was just treating it that way. If people think that that's not a legitimate way to beat it, I'm not going to disagree with them. But I don't care about beating it the way you think I should.
Give me a break. Yeah.
This is good enough for me.
Yeah. Right. Listen.
Yeah. And yeah, I beat Bowser. I did get most of the secret exits. I did not get all of them. There were some that were just beyond my ability or beyond my patience level.
Yeah.
Whichever
That's
those
more so. That's
the
issue.
Yeah.
Did you ever beat King Boo, the Boo boss?
No.
Yeah.
I don't really know how.
Yeah.
So I don't know how to execute it. That's another thing is in platformers is just because I know what to do doesn't mean I know how to execute it.
Yeah. Yeah. Nope. I feel that.
Yeah. I did watch a few YouTube videos to figure out how to get past certain levels.
Definitely. I mean, there's some exits that are hard to find if you don't know,
Right.
if you don't know where they are. Yeah, they're can be quite tough. So,
But yeah, I made it all. I made it across the cheese bridge. I made it through the forest. I made it through Chocolate Island.
Forest of Illusion is very fun.
Yeah, Forest of Illusion. And I even did all the optional fortresses
Nice.
with the like Triceratops, Rhino.
Yeah,
things.
Reznor.
Yeah.
The Reznor.
Yep.
Nice. Hey, cool.
Yeah.
You achieved a childhood goal, basically.
Yeah. and I did feel accomplished in the end. I like that was definitely difficult, and it was something that I actually like beat. So yeah. Now going on from there, old games that I never really beat legitimately. Yes. Star Wars Rogue Squadron for the N64.
Oh yeah. That's a hard game.
This was a game that was hard even with an infinite lives cheat on.
Yes.
Because
you still had to beat the level.
Right. You had to beat the level, and in many cases you had to beat it in a certain length of time, or you had to make sure a certain thing didn't get destroyed.
Oh, yeah. You
had to protect a certain thing. So I plugged this game in, and I was like, let's just see. And I didn't realize how low resolution it was.
It is an ugly game.
It is horrible. And
awesome.
I played it for a few minutes, and I was like, I no longer have any interest in even trying to beat this game.
Wow, you just like, this game sucks.
That's how bad it looks and how weird the controls are and just how unresponsive. Like, no.
Dang.
This game is too old.
This game is too old.
I have played older games than this that play better.
Oh, yeah.
It definitely. Just is, yeah. It just did not age well.
Dang, that sucks.
But this prompted a trip.
Yes, it did. It prompted you to gut some of your games a little bit.
It prompted what I am calling the purge.
The purge. It was not a lot of games.
Well, so here's the thing. First, I had a drawer full of old PC games.
Uh-huh.
Now, unlike console games, and this is one of many things I prefer about console games is as long as your console works, you can play the old ancient games that they created for it back in the 90s or whatever. As long as both the console works and the cartridge or disc isn't completely worn out.
Yeah.
With PC games, as your OS updates and you
just doesn't work anymore.
Eventually, it's just not going to work anymore.
Yep.
So
sucks.
Old PC games don't necessarily hold any value.
Nope.
So I was looking through my drawer of old PC games, and I had collected a few
quite a bit.
We have a neighbor who was just getting rid of some older ones, and I was like, "These look interesting. I'll take them."
Yeah.
And I never really did play them. So
of course,
I was going through all my old PC games, and I was just gonna throw out any of the ones that didn't have sentimental value. So my original Age of Empires 2, Age of Kings disc, way too much sentimental value to ever get rid of.
Yeah.
I don't care if I can't play it on anything.
That.
I'm still going to keep it.
Yeah.
Same for Star Trek Armada 2.
Oh, yeah.
Now,
those games, man.
I did eventually throw away my original Star Trek Armada disc because it was so heavily scratched.
It was just messed up, yeah.
that it wouldn't have played even on a compatible OS because the disc was just in such terrible shape. I played that game a lot.
Yeah.
So I have not had that physical copy for many years now. I did have like Windows 2000 or something in an emulator at one point, and I was playing it on there.
Yeah.
I want to try and get that up and running again.
Nice.
And then I have Star Wars Galactic Battlegrounds, which is just
course.
Age of Empires 2, but Star Wars.
But Star Wars.
Literally built on the same engine, so
cool.
the mechanics are almost identical.
Yep. But there was lightsabers. Ooh,
Yeah.
and
then
Ewoks.
I have the original Age of Empires, the Gold Edition.
Nice.
And then Warcraft 3, Reign of Chaos, and Frozen Throne. And I think that's all I kept. Everything else I got rid of.
Gotcha.
I had Chessmaster, which I actually kind of liked that
Nerd.
game. But if I want to play chess, there are plenty of ways I can do it through a browser or something now.
Yeah,
so I
through
don't need
everything.
to keep that old game.
Everything in the world has a chess on it.
Yeah. And yeah, so Fantasy Star Universe.
Yeah.
I'm like, nah. I just threw it away.
Nah, man.
This was the sequel
Not
that
gonna
that should
happen.
never have existed.
Yeah.
They should have just not bothered.
Yikes.
So I did that, and then I was looking through all of my PlayStation and Xbox games and N64 games.
All the classic stuff.
And so
yeah.
I had just like 4 games altogether. Final Fantasy XII for PS2 because I have the PS4 remake, or not. It's not really a remake. It's just it was just like an update. I forget what it's called. Anyway, it's Final Fantasy XII with the job system.
Yeah. Yeah.
So my original PS2 version.
Zodiac Age.
Yeah, Zodiac Age.
Sorry.
My original PS2 version.
I got it.
My PS4 Shadow of the Colossus because I'm just never gonna try to beat it.
So sad.
And then
So sad.
Star Wars.
Such a good game. Go play that game.
Star Wars Rogue Squadron and my Dr. Mario for N64.
Messed up.
Because that,
Messed up.
well, that's another game I can play on like anything now.
Yes, it's true.
And frankly, I think it makes it. I think I liked it better as an arcade game than an N64 game.
Yeah.
personally.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So
I have it on Game Boy, so
I
get
took
it.
those 4 games, and you had some stuff, and we went to Retro Game Trader, which is
Yes.
our local retro game shop.
There's an awesome shop in Beaverton here.
Yeah, and they also have a Hillsborough location.
Yes, they have 2 locations now, and it's quite a. It's a retro game store, but it is sort of a. They call it sort of a museum of retro games,
And it really
because
is.
It is.
They have a lot.
They have some insanely collectible, expensive things.
It
Pretty
is
cool.
insane the value of some older games.
Yeah, dude, for
we
real.
saw
Like games we have.
we saw a new in-box Pokemon Stadium 2
Mm-hmm.
for N64 for $350 or something.
Yeah, something like that. Quite a lot.
Yeah.
Yes, understandable. New in box, but
Yeah. And then
Crazy.
when I back in the early 2000s, I played Dot Hack Outbreak or Dot Hack Infection, I think it was.
Yeah. Those
Was the
PS2
first game.
dot hack games.
Yeah, and there was a whole series of them. I think there were 4 games.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Dot Hack Infection and Mutation, I think, are the first 2 games, and those were very common.
Yeah,
They sold tons of copies. It's not very hard to get a hold of them. You can buy one used for
Still.
under $30.
Yeah, still.
The 4th game,
Yeah.
Dot Hack Outbreak, they had, I think, 3 copies altogether, and they were all about $400.
Freaking insane. Like, jeez,
Yeah.
man. You'd have to be quite a collector to have to buy that
Yeah.
for that much.
My N64 would probably be worth at least $250.
At least. Yeah. Because it's complete, works pretty well, has the controllers with
Yeah.
it. Yeah. It's
Rare-ish color, ice.
Yeah, the ice blue. Yep. It's not a jungle green. Those are very common.
Right.
But
although even those go for like $200.
oh yeah. It's still a colored N64.
Yeah.
Yeah. Even my watermelon is worth a good amount.
Yeah.
Yeah. Pretty cool.
Yep.
Pretty cool stuff. They had one of each color, including like I think like a Japanese only one that it was never here.
Dude, they had original Famicom. That was
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah, they
to
did.
see,
That was cool.
'cause, yeah. That was one of the. That
They
was
aren't
the
even
first
that
time I had
expensive
seen
now,
one in
but
person.
yeah, I haven't seen one in
yeah.
person, so that was cool. And yeah, they just have walls and walls of games and stuff.
Yeah.
Very cool.
So I picked up a couple of older games that I had never really played, or at least didn't play very much. So
Yeah.
So I traded in those 4 games, and I got Dragon Age Origins, which I've played once when I was at Ben's house.
Mm-hmm.
And then there was one other game. It wasn't Mass Effect, but it was one of those games that I've been waiting to play.
Not BioShock?
No, not
it was
BioShock, because I have the
Fallout 3.
Yes, Fallout 3.
Fallout 3, yeah.
For Xbox 360.
Such a classic game, yeah.
Because I've never played a Fallout game, and I
It's
really
one of those
wanted
series
to
we
try
never got into.
Yeah.
So yeah, they always say to play 3 in New Vegas both.
Yeah.
But
Mm-hmm.
yeah. Yep, I'm sure they're great.
Yeah.
It's just one of those things. Yeah. And actually, so yeah, what I sold was many years ago. I'm going to say like 4 or 5 years ago now. I was given by a really nice coworker, really great guy. He gave me a bunch of old NES stuff, like accessories and games, because he just had them and he knew I liked video games. And he's like, I don't need these. You can just have them. Gave me some good games, classic games, Tetris and stuff. And then my wife later bought me an NES for my birthday one time, so I could actually play them, which was really cool. But he also gave me an NES Advantage, which was basically a controller that was like a arcade stick, which is really cool, actually. I never used it because it was in such nice condition. So it was in the box, and box was kind of dinged up, but the thing itself had like the peely plastic film on like the shiny plastic part still. Like, and I was like, I don't know if this has ever been played before.
Yeah.
Like, this is crazy. So I'm just gonna leave this, and maybe because I might be worth something someday. So I wanted to bring it in just to see, I'm like, hey, is this worth anything? And they gave me like $50 for it.
Yeah.
Which is way more than I thought I would ever get.
Store credit, yeah.
Yeah. So that was worth it. That was awesome. And so now I'm sitting here with $50 and I'm like, crap, I don't know what game I want.
Yeah.
Now it's really hard to choose the games I want. I've always been wanting to like expand my Game Boy and Game Boy Advance libraries. Just because there's so many good games on those systems.
One of my games that was on the chopping block potentially was my Final Fantasy 1 and 2 Dawn of Souls for Game Boy Advance, which was for several years, for probably over 10 years, the only Game Boy or Game Boy Advance game I owned.
Yeah. Such a random game to own, too.
Yeah. And I think that was either back around the time I first beat FF7 or right before, even possibly.
Yeah.
But ultimately the reason I kept it is, one, I have a Game Boy Advance SP now, so I can actually play it on something. And 2, it might be the best way for me to play the first Final Fantasy, because I've tried an emulator of just the original NES version or Super NES version. I forget which one.
NES.
Yeah, it was NES.
Original, yeah.
And it is terrible.
It is a horrible game. It is absolutely terrible.
It's just, yeah. And so I thought, the Game Boy Advance game might be a much more pleasant way to play it. So
yeah, for sure. Yeah. So yeah, I was looking at a lot of Game Boy Advance games because there's a lot of those I want. I was really eyeing Metroid Zero Mission.
Oh, okay, yeah. Oh, I remember that one vaguely.
It's like a remake of the NES Metroid, I'm pretty sure.
Oh, okay.
But remade for... Whoa. He just smashed his hand on the table.
Yeah.
It went bong. Okay, anyway, I had to comment on that. His head's bleeding. Oh my God, there's blood everywhere. Anyway.
What else is new?
Apparently, it's very good. People say it's like one of the best Metroid games ever. But Metroid Fusion is also for the Game Boy Advance, which people also say is one of the best Metroid games ever. Oh yeah,
that's one of the ones with like the blue and red.
It's like the blue suit. Yeah. Super cool looking game. And I really want to get more into those games because I mostly only played the Prime games, which I love. But yeah, I wanted to get into those side scrollers. But Super Metroid's okay. It's pretty good. I didn't grow up with it, so I don't love it like a lot of people do. So that makes me really want to play the advanced versions. I think I'll like those. So yeah, I was really eyeing that because they had a zero mission for $60, I think.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, so it'd only be $10. Like, I was really thinking about it.
Yeah, it's interesting. I think oftentimes updated ports of games can sometimes be better than the original.
Oh, for sure.
Just because they bring with them some modern technology advances.
Yeah, like I love Metal Gear, for instance, Twin Snakes for the GameCube, which is a remake of the original Metal Gear Solid.
Yeah.
Is in my opinion better in every way. So that's definitely the go-to. Of course, I don't own that, and it's extremely expensive. So
right.
Maybe someday I'll get that. But yeah, I wasn't sure, so I just like put a pin in it, and we actually went to the other location to check it out, which was 20-minute drive, maybe 25 minutes. Not even that far away.
Our house is kind of right in between.
Yeah, we're like in the
locations,
middle of the two. So, but it was like even nicer location. I feel like it was bigger, and they had quite an inventory for being fairly new. You know? So that was really cool. I was looking there. I was going in between Zero Mission or Pokemon Gold because I didn't have Gold, and I've mentioned before. Usually, on Pokemon games, I like the and version.
Right.
So like red and blue, I like blue. Gold and silver, I typically like silver. Ruby and sapphire, I like sapphire. But with gold and silver, I kind of associate silver with you and gold with me.
Yeah.
Because of childhood. I think gold I actually owned. Like, I think my games when I was a kid were yellow and gold.
Yeah.
Whereas you had, more of the other stuff.
I had all of the others.
Yeah. And just looking at the cartridge just made me happy. And I'm just like, I need this. I need this game.
I think, oddly enough, so I remember being at Papa and Nana's playing Gold.
My grandparents, yeah.
Yeah. And I think I might have even played Gold more than Silver, even though I liked Silver better.
That's funny. Yeah, so I had Silver already, but I was like, you know what, forget it. I'm getting Pokemon Gold. I just really want this right now. And so that's what I went with. I think it was like 70, but it was in really good condition. Even the label was really nice and everything. Obviously, certified legit copy too. It's quite an issue with those old Pokemon games for them being like Chinese reproductions and stuff, which are very cheap and do technically work. But, it's much cooler to have a legit copy.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was really cool. So I picked that up. And I've played it a fair amount. I think I just got to Goldenrod. Yeah. Cool. It's pretty cool. I don't know what team I'm going to go with. I went with Totodile because he's my favorite. Yeah, I just love that little alligator. He's such a cutie. So it's really fun. Yeah. I mean, we're at an hour already.
Yeah, I mean, I've got more to talk about.
We have tons to talk about, but
I think it's okay for us to go a little bit longer.
Do you want to make a longer episode or?
That's fine.
Okay. I was just gonna mention too, as it was my birthday yesterday, I got some really cool birthday presents.
Yep.
Most of them are actually decorations for the game room that I'm working on in my house. That will eventually, hopefully, sort of be a set for the Brothers game. I got tons of art and frames to put them in. Basically, it's just maps of video games. Which is really cool. I think just
Video
a fun
world maps,
it's a fun theme. So yeah, world maps from a bunch of games we love. So you'll see that eventually. Actually, if you want to go to the Brothers Game podcast Twitter, I can post some pictures there too of just me working on it. Actually, if you want to go there, that would be awesome. That'd be great to get some more interaction on that platform. If you want to go to the Brothers G Pod on Twitter at the Brothers G Pod, that'd be awesome. I actually also got some little stands for like my Game Boy and my Game Boy Advance, and some games and stuff like the tiered stand for the N64 games, which is really
that's
cool.
one I really want.
Yeah, these are all they're just like little 3D printed stuff from Etsy, but they're really cool. So just really try to display stuff a little more. So pretty cool.
I only have one more thing I really want to talk about, and that is my Halo Edition Xbox from 2005.
Oh yeah.
You
had some repair adventures.
Yeah,
recently.
So I actually don't even remember when I got this exactly, and like I remember I traded in my original Xbox and probably some games or something with it, and then got this Halo Edition Xbox. And there's even a picture on my old like film camera that I have. I still have a roll of film from like 2005 that has a picture of this, and it's got my Halo Edition Xbox with my Halo 2 like metal case special edition and
classic.
My Halo 1 and all of my Halo memorabilia all like in a pile together.
Nice.
So I picked up this game, and I pulled this console out, and I was going to play in the whole spirit of old games that I haven't never beat.
Totally.
I was going to check on my progress on Star Wars Battlefront 2.
Yeah.
The
classic
2005 version for the original Xbox.
Yeah.
And
classic game. Great game.
I was starting to play it, and I was looking through all the save files, and I was like, oh, okay, these are all weird. I'm just going to delete them all and just start over.
Yeah.
And then I was playing through the tutorial for a bit, and then Mom and I were going to go watch something. So I just put it on pause, and then I went downstairs and watched it. So it sat there paused for about an hour. And I came back upstairs. It was still running. And I played for a few minutes, and then it just turned off.
Just bloop.
And then bye-bye. I would press the power button, and it would turn on and then turn off. And then press the power button again, turn on, turn off. I was like, okay, maybe it overheated. Let me wait a day and then try again.
Yep.
Then the power button didn't even do anything. I couldn't even use the little like pin hole to release the disc tray. So I couldn't even get the game out of it.
That's weird. Yeah.
So I was like, okay. So someone has had this problem before. Let me Google and see.
Absolutely, yeah.
People mention stuff about leaking capacitors. I'm like, that seems likely. I know a thing or two about circuit boards. So then I watched a YouTube video on somebody disassembling the Xbox. I'm like, okay, that doesn't look too hard. I can probably do that. So
thank you, YouTube.
I took mine apart, and I have to say, I have actually taken apart a lot of electronics.
Yeah.
The Xbox was I was pleasantly surprised at how easy it was to take apart and put back together.
That's nice.
Compared to a lot of other electronics. So I took the whole thing apart. I pulled the board out. Now, a common issue on Xboxes, the original Xboxes, was the clock capacitor would leak. But this was only really a problem on Xbox motherboards up to and including version 1.5. Revision 1.6, which was the last revision, they fixed that issue.
A lot of stuff. Oh, nice.
But on those early revisions, the clock capacitor was such an issue that they recommended just removing it entirely.
Oh, just not
like
have a clock.
Not even just replacing it when it leaked, but just removing it altogether because of how bad that issue was.
It's just going to leak again, yeah.
But so this Xbox had a 1.6 already revision board, so it had the latest revision already. Cool. And the clock capacitor was fine.
Oh, wow.
It was the other capacitors that were all leaking.
All of them?
Yeah. Jeez. Now, none of them had leaked onto the board, so the board's actually fine. And I could probably, if I took the time to solder it, I could probably replace the 4 caps and it'd be fine.
Yeah.
But I didn't want to deal with that and possibly break the board because I know how to solder. I don't know how to solder well and cleanly. I just know how to make it kind of sort of work.
Yeah.
I solder my own guitar electronics sometimes, and sometimes I'll plug in my guitar and go, it's not working. I better pull the iron back out and redo this solder joint again.
Dang.
So I didn't want to deal with that and possibly destroy my Xbox motherboard. So I looked on eBay, and they're only like $50 for a Rev 1.6 Xbox motherboard.
Nice. Clean capacitors, hopefully.
Yeah, and that's another thing is you got to look at their pictures and look at all
See
the
if they're
capacitors and make
leaking.
sure none of them are leaking, because just because the test's working doesn't mean the capacitors are all in good order. So found one without any leaking caps. It arrived a couple of days ago. I swapped out the boards, turned it on, worked great,
Works perfect, yeah.
and hopefully will work for years to come.
Sweet. So it was fairly easy fix, yeah?
Yeah.
And how much was it altogether in the end?
Oh, $53.
Wow, yeah.
Yeah.
So totally worth it.
Yeah.
Especially for a special edition Halo Xbox.
Yeah.
Which is worth a decent amount, I'm pretty sure. A few hundred
so,
at least, I'm sure.
Because there is now, I think two of my original Xbox games will play on the 360, but I have one that absolutely will not.
Yes.
And also,
And you love that game.
I looked up the ROMs for it for Xbox emulators, and they're super buggy and barely work. So like, this is the only way I can play this game, and that is Mech Assault.
Mech Assault. Yep.
And it isn't it's nowhere near my favorite game,
Right.
but it is a game
But you
I
like it.
enjoy, and
Yeah.
it's a very challenging game that I was able to beat one time, and
And that you like that a
so
lot.
I like that
Yeah.
feeling a lot. So
That's funny.
I really wanted to be able to still play.
Yeah, for sure. No, that's really cool. Yeah. So hey, good job! Yay! The only thing close I've done to that was replacing the case on my Game Boy Advance SP, which is fairly involved, especially with like unjoining the ribbon cables on the screen and stuff. Is very
Ribbon cables are just awful in
yeah,
general.
super thin and crazy, but it worked.
Yeah.
Hey, I got it. That was kind of fun. And
It actually gave me
interesting.
I watched a video disassembling an N64, and I now have the confidence to do that to mine. It works
Fairly
currently,
easy. Yeah.
but it hasn't been opened or cleaned in 20 years.
Yeah,
So
since you got it as a kid,
really
basically.
am interested in just taking it apart, gently cleaning it, and putting it back together.
Yeah.
Just to
think it's a good
make
idea.
sure it
Hopefully.
lasts for a few more years.
Hopefully that'll be a good thing.
Yeah, I'd love for it to just last as long as it possibly can.
Yeah, for sure. It's quite sentimental, that one.
Yes.
I mean,
Out of all my consoles,
I grew up
that is
playing
by far
that
the most
N64 too.
sentimental. Yeah.
So, yeah, for sure. Very cool. All right, I guess we can end it there.
Yep.
We do have more to talk about. I have much to talk about regarding Pokemon trading cards. If you know anything about that world right now, it's absolutely insane.
Yeah.
So, hopefully, you'll be seeing some videos on our YouTube channel soon regarding Pokemon cards. I'm also posting about it on Twitter, so I'm sure you can see it there. Speaking of Twitter, as I mentioned, if you could go give us a follow on Twitter at the Brothers G Pod, or you can just go to thebrothersgame.com, right? Brothersgamepodcast.com?
Yes, the brothersgamepodcast.com.
Okay, thebrothersgamepodcast.com. That will also take you to our Twitter for now until we have a super cool website with merch one day, hopefully, soon, maybe. Who knows? So thank you guys so much for listening. Go ahead and subscribe and download wherever you get podcasts. Really means a lot. If you're on YouTube, give us a comment, give us a like. We'd love to chat with you. Interaction's very fun.
Our YouTube channel will be up to date soon. We just need to work on a few technical issues.
Yeah, our upload team has been really behind. I don't know what they're doing. I'll have to email them.
Oh, yeah.
I'm the team. Anyway, we'll see you guys next time. Thank you so much for listening. Bye-bye.
Goodbye.